The sharing economy is something that we hear more and more about. Houses, cars, and even bicycles are in the mix. ValleyBike Share began last summer with about 500 electrically assisted smart bicycles distributed to special docking stations at a handful of cities and towns in Hampden and Hampshire counties. Users can buy memberships or rent the bikes and use them as often as they like. The program will start back up in the spring, but meanwhile, I looked back on year one of the program with Richard Harris, Director of Planning and Conservation in South Hadley, and Marcus Marrero, who's Holyoke's Director of Planning and Economic Development.
Well, for us, we're doing a lot of things in our, particularly in our downtown, to make sure that we have connectivity with the region, such as when we did the new train station. Obviously, we always focus on having the right infrastructure in terms of our roads and rehabilitating a lot of the vacant property in the downtown. Bike share for us was another means of getting people in the city, through the city, to points of interest. We had also similarly done something with vehicle share with Zipcar. And so this is the kind of stuff that really creates a really good vibe particularly in downtowns, but in areas that have a certain amount of density, and Holyoke is pretty dense. It substitutes for vehicle usage, so it can clear up some of the roads, and it provides a low-cost way of getting around town. So it's a win-win all throughout.
Kind of fun also to see people out and about doing something that is a fun activity. Gives you a sense that, oh, maybe this is a place that I want to hang out, spend some time, things like that, I imagine, right? Yeah. And so, Richard, for you, it was interesting for me to look at the cities involved. South Hadley, to me, I think a bit more rural, obviously, than Holyoke. Why was this a good fit for South Hadley?
South Hadley actually is several different types of communities. You look at the Falls area, and we kind of view that as almost like an extension of the flats of Holyoke. In fact, when we did an application earlier this year, we did very jointly because the areas are so similar. But at the same time, you look at the Hodge area. It's more of a mixed-use area. And then you do have some rural areas and a lot of suburban areas in town. But we look at it as a way of helping implement our master plan from 2010, which talked about interconnection with the region, and also trying to interconnect more of the village commons, town commons area with the falls area. It provides that transportation link. And reduce it as a need to help alleviate some vehicle traffic. You do have some areas in the falls in particular that do have limited parking and access. And it's an element of the Complete Streets program that we've initiated as well.
And as I understand it, for folks at home who may not have used the bike share program, they're electric assist. So you're not grinding out all the hard work entirely. You do get a little boost there. But as I understand it, that was also practical because of what you said. Some people might be traveling a slightly further distance. It gives them kind of a little bit of an advantage or an incentive to use the bikes. Did you see about the number of people that you hoped using the program this first time out, or are you still working on that?
Yeah, this first time out, and bear in mind, we kind of started midway through the season, but it was a very successful season. We saw, what was it, like 100,000 miles in travel with the bikes. And when you mentioned the bike assist, it's not merely the distance; it's also the inclination of the roads, right? So we're a valley, so you start at zero near the river, and then whenever you're getting away, right, the terrain goes up. So yeah, you're definitely biking. You will feel that you're biking, but you don't have to be an Olympian to ride one of these, and particularly for some areas of South Hadley, some areas of Springfield and Holyoke, you get some hilly areas that really without the bike assist, it's going to be a work. The idea is that this is kind of for everybody that can get on a bike and knows how to bike, and not just for people who are very fit and still get that exercise in.
Yeah.
And that's a very good point. This is a bike for everybody. It's not the super athlete that's going to do the Tour de France type thing. It's for Joe Blow down the street. Our town administrators use it a number of times around town, go to different meetings, different spots in town. And it is a very convenient way to do that. And
do you have any sense of who's using it? Is it young, old, in between, everybody, or is it kind of a younger crowd using the bikes? Do you have any sense?
We're still pending the final report on the data. What we do know is that we already have members in the, and I forget what the exact data point was on the amount of members, but we do have members, and then we have the occasional users, a lot of folks that are seeing this in the community pop up. They see the stations, they see the kiosks, and say, this is a really interesting activity, as you mentioned earlier, right? It's a nice day, we're going to walk around, and it's something that provides a lot of vitality to our neighborhoods. Over time, the interest, I think, is to grow the membership, right? Those occasional users to have the membership, and that's also, on a per use basis that'll make it cheaper for them.
Yeah, go ahead.
When we look at the diversity of the region, the municipalities involved, the communities involved, you will see a range of age, because South Hadley tends to have an older population than Holyoke, for instance, and so the ridership there is generally going to be have a higher end as well as a lower end. So it's going to be that broad range of demographic that actually is very democratic in that respect, because it does have a wide range of people.
To your point about membership, what Mass Live reported out is about 1,100 people kind of all-time members, but those repeat memberships, about 890 or so, 880, somewhere in there. And that to me kind of leads to a question about price points. You can get a range of prices, right? If you want to buy a year's membership, mostly it's about $90, or go all the way down to the low end of the scale where it's, $2 a ride, things like that. Do you think the price point is right for encouraging people to use that, or is that something that might be adjusted in year 2?
Well, it's something we're going to look at as we get the final report for the year. I would also add that one of the things that we worked on is, and we'll probably be launching in 2019, is a deep subsidy to those who cannot afford the bikes. And the membership, one of the really cool things about bike share is that it can substitute other modes of transportation. So if you cannot afford a car, you may be in certain points of your life where you can still not afford that $80 membership for whatever reason, or multiple of those if you have if you have a
couple people trying to get around.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's something that I think we're very close on launching in 2019.
For you, both of you are planners professionally. Did you have to make adjustments to adding bike lanes in the city or in South Hadley, or will you be doing that, or making any kind of streetscape adjustments to help this program move forward?
In South Hadley, we're working on a complete streets program anyway, so this just adds another component to that. We developed a comprehensive bike pedestrian plan with the Pioneer Valley Planning Commission several years ago, and we have a bike walk committee that's actively working on it to help implement those programs.
And when you say complete streets, you mean something that's more walkable, user-friendly downtown, something like that?
Biking, vehicle, walking, the full gamut, so you don't just have to drive everywhere. Mm-hmm. And there is a space along the road for vehicles. We don't have an abandoned rail line that we can use for rail trail, so we have to incorporate it in with our streets. And that's one of the things we're working on. We've got a grant we're going to do more in the falls. We're working with Mass DOT on other streets and other major roadways. And so as time develops, we'll have that type of complete street infrastructure. And ValleyBike share is an essential component to not only have that complete streets, but also to help stimulate more interest in bicycling in general. And I think that's a long-term benefit of it, is that stimulation.
How about the environmental component? You mentioned a couple of times you might reduce the amount of cars, a different mode of transportation. Too soon to say if it's had a positive impact on decreasing those individual car trips, or do you know?
Yeah, too soon to say categorically. We're waiting on a final report, but we do know how many miles have been traveled, and so to the extent that that's replacing other types of travel, that's about 100,000 miles of no vehicles.
And also note that this is a regional system. I think when you look at the statistics this year, even though it's only a partial year, and I noticed in August and September, for instance, approximately a third of the trips on the two stations in South Hadley either originated or ended outside of South Hadley, which speaks to the regionalization. And it's not just all in Holyoke, it's in other communities as well. So it does speak to the regionalization of the system, and that people are using it for not just their neighborhood trips, but for other places as well.